everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something super important that impacts our minds, our hearts, and even our spirits. What we choose to put before our eyes and ears. In a world overflowing with content, it's easy to just consume without thinking. But as believers, we're called to be intentional. You know, whether it's the music blasting through our headphones or the videos scrolling on your phone, what we consume shapes us. And God, in His infinite wisdom, actually has a lot to say about this. Let's start with music. Music is powerful, right? It can bring us up, motivate us, bring us to joy, or even move us to tears. Think about a song that just gets you pumped up for the day, or one that helps you worship. That's the beauty of music. But on the flip side, music can also bring us down, or fill our minds with things that aren't helpful, or even harmful. There are lyrics out there that promote negativity, violence, or even immorality. And sometimes we just listen to it because it has a really good beat without really thinking about the message. The same goes for what we watch. YouTube, TikTok, movies, TV shows, there's an endless stream of content. From hilarious skits and educational documentaries to inspiring testimonies and, well, let's just say not so inspiring content. The Bible gives us clear guidance on this. It's not about being boring or missing out, but about having a life that honors God and protects our inner world. God doesn't want us to put any evil before our eyes and ears because He knows the profound impact it has on us. It's like building a house. You want to use good materials, right? You want to intentionally use rotten wood or faulty wiring. Our minds and spirits are far more valuable than any house, and we need to be just as careful with what we let in. Let's look at a few verses that really hits this home. First up, one of my favorites, Philippians 4:8. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." This verse is like a filter for our minds. It doesn't just tell us what to think about, but by extension, what kind of content we should be inviting into our lives. Is the music you're listening to true, honest, pure, lovely? Are the videos you're watching of good report or praiseworthy? If not, maybe it's time to reevaluate. Next, let's turn to Psalm 101:3. This is a powerful declaration. "I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me." This verse is so direct. David the psalmist is making a conscious decision to reject anything wicked. Think about that word wicked. It's not just about things that are overly evil, but things that offer no true value, things that are empty, or things that might even subtly pull us away from God. This applies to both our eyes and our ears. If it's wicked, it doesn't belong in our minds. Then we have Romans 12:2, a classic. "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." This verse speaks to the power of transformation through our minds. If we're constantly feeding our minds with the pattern of the Word, which often celebrates the things contrary to God's will, how can our minds be renewed? What we watch and listen to plays a huge role in shaping that pattern within us. We want to be transformed, not conformed. And here's Proverbs 4:23, a foundational principle. "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." While this verse specifically mentions heart in biblical terms, the heart often refers to the core of our being, our thoughts, emotions, will. And how do we guard our heart? By being diligent about what we allow to enter through our gates, our eyes and ears. If we let in corrupting influences, they will eventually pollute the wellspring of our actions and attitudes. Finally, 1 Corinthians 15:33 warns us, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners." While this verse often refers to the people we associate with, the principle extends to the communications we keep. The principle extends to the communications we keep through the content we consume. If we constantly immerse ourselves in content that promotes things contrary to God's character, it will corrupt our own. Our character is influenced by what we feed it. Alara lived in a valley nestled beside the whispering stream. It wasn't just called that because of the gentle sound of its water flowing over smooth stones. The stream seemed to carry whispers on the breeze. For generations, the villagers had learned to discern these whispers. Some were clear and pure, like the chime of tiny bells carrying tales of kindness, courage, and the beauty of the valley. Listening to these whispers filled their hearts with joy and inspired them to do good deeds. But lately, a new sound began to mingle with the stream's gentle murmur. It was a harsh, grating noise that seemed to emanate from the shadowy woods beyond the valley. These weren't whispers of beauty, but jeers of mockery, tales of selfishness and shortcuts, and sordid images of the world outside. Many villagers, especially the younger ones, found themselves drawn to this new sound. It was louder, more insistent, and offered a twisted kind of excitement. Young Finn was one of them. He used to sit by the stream, delighting in the clear whispers that spoke of helping his neighbors and appreciating the simple gifts of nature. But now he often wandered to the edge of the woods, his ears straining to catch the harsh sounds. They told him that the old ways were foolish, that the true happiness came from taking what you wanted, and that kindness was a sign of weakness. Slowly, Finn started to change. He became impatient with his chores, spoke unkindly to his friends, and his eyes, once bright with curiosity about the good in the valley, now held a cynical gleam. He found the gentle whispers of the stream boring and preferred the dramatic, often cruel stories from the woods. One day, a storm swept through the valley, causing the streams to overflow its banks. The clear whispers were drowned out by the raging water and the howling wind. But even amidst the chaos, Finn could still hear the echoes of the harsh voices from the woods in his mind, filling him with fear and anxiety. As the storm subsided, the elders of the village gathered by the stream. They reminded everyone of the importance of listening to the pure whispers, especially when the world around them was noisy and confusing. They explained that the harsh sounds from the woods were like a deceptive current, pulling them away from the true source of peace and joy. Finn, soaked and shaken by the storm, finally understood. He realized that the harsh voices had not brought him happiness, but had instead filled him with negativity and disconnected him from the goodness around him. He went back to the banks of the whispering stream, and as the water began to calm, he listened intently. At first, it was difficult to hear the gentle whispers over the echoes of the harsh sounds in his mind, but he persisted, focusing his attention, and slowly, the clear and pure whispers returned, bringing with them a sense of calm and renewed understanding of what truly mattered. Finn turned his back on the shadowy woods and rejoined the villagers by the whispering stream, eager to once again listen to the whispers of truth and beauty. Now, a biblical example. Finn's story shows us the power of what we listen to. Now, let's look at the ultimate example of guarding our minds. Jesus' temptation in the wilderness, found in Matthew 4:1 through 11. Following his baptism, then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, "If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread." But he answered and said, "It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God." Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on the pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again, the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, and for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. This story powerfully illustrates the importance of guarding what we allow to influence us. The devil attempts to tempt Jesus by appealing to his physical needs, his pride, and his desire for power. These temptations were presented through the woods and visual displays. Jesus resisted by focusing on the Word of God. He didn't allow the devil's enticing suggestions to take root in his mind. He actively rejected the negative input and held fast to the truth. Just like Jesus in the wilderness, we are constantly bombarded with messages through music, videos, and other media that can tempt us away from God's path. Jesus set the ultimate example of guarding his eyes and ears and remaining steadfast in his devotion to God. So, what does this look like practically in our everyday lives? It's not about living in a bubble or missing out on all the fun. It's about being discerning. For music, ask yourself, what are these lyrics actually saying? Does this music uplift me and bring me closer to God? Or does it stir up negative emotions or promote ungodly values? There's so much amazing God-honoring music out there in every genre. Seek it out. For YouTube and TikTok, be mindful of who you follow and what kind of content consistently shows up in your feed. Are these channels building you up, inspiring you, or teaching you something valuable? Or are they filled with gossip, negativity, or things that pull you away from your faith? Use the not interested or block functions. Curate your feed intentionally. For movies and TV, before you dive into a new show, do a quick search. Read reviews, consider the themes. Is it something that will draw you closer to God, or challenge you in a healthy way, or simply entertain you without compromise? Or will it expose you to things that God calls us to turn away from? My challenge to you this week is to do a content audit. Take a look at your music playlist, your YouTube subscriptions, your TikTok feed. Be honest with yourself. Is what you're consuming aligning with Philippians 4:8? Is it helping you guard your heart? Remember, we have a choice. We get to decide what we invite into our minds and spirits. And when we choose wisely, we're not just protecting ourselves, we're opening ourselves up to more of God's goodness and transforming power into our lives. Thank you so much for watching today. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below what steps you're taking to guard your eyes and ears. We'll see you in the next time. This is Josiah reminding you, stay strong, stay kind, and stay close to God. Bye. Thanks for watching again, and if you guys want to see videos like this, subscribe. I post videos like this every Monday, and at the end of the month, I'll have a huge surprise for you. Trust me, it's really surprising. Bye guys, see you in the next one. Let's start with music. Music is powerful, right? It can lift us up, motivate us, bring us joy, or even us to tears. Let's start with music. Music is powerful, right? It can lift us up, motivate us. Let's start with music. Music is powerful, right? It can lift us up, motivate us, and we need to be just as careful with that. Rejecting worthiness. Next, let's turn to Psalm 101:3. Rejecting worthiness. Next, let's turn to rejecting worthiness. Next, let's turn to now you want to work. But now he often wondered but now he offered what he but now he often wondered, but he answered and said, he answered and said, he answered and said, and said, and said,